Hello, welcome back to Alliance War. It's Season 38, War 10, 4 Loki is facing MIBR. These guys, every time we face them, we end up having a terrible war, and that tradition holds true. We had our worst war of the season and ended up losing, so congrats to them. I'm going to bring an Ultron, Red Hulk for my fights here in 4 Loki. I'll also bring a Wags. I need a couple guidance boosts, and I need to give one to PWF so he can dominate. Ultron and Red Hulk. My guys. Start off on Path 9A. We got this Korg here. We're going to be using Ultron. This was an assignment I made that raised some eyebrows, but I said, no. Ultron's got this. First, we'll use the guidance to make sure we get the parry stick. Then we'll just do 4 light combos to manage the rock stacks. And yeah, so one of the things about Ultron is that his function evade is going to give Korg some of his stuff. And so he's going to be throwing unblockable special ones, but one of the reasons that I knew that Ultron would be good for this fight is that these special ones, which I'm eating to the face, are all energy, and so I'm just going to heal back most of that damage, which is what makes Ultron such a tank. Now, fighting Korg is always generally unpleasant in any game mode. I particularly hate fighting him in Battlegrounds and always seem to get to have that experience. In War, I usually use Omega, but I didn't get to this war for this node. Fortunately, I knew that Ultron, low-key MVP of this season for me, could handle it. Just throw a couple SB3s when the rock stacks are down, and you'll get plenty of damage in. So, yep, that is Node 9 crushed. Now we move on to Node 18. We've got a Human Torch, a Global Defender, which must be diversity placement. I can actually use either Red Hulk or Ultron here. I decided to use Ultron merely because I know that I have a lot of fans in the community that just enjoy my egregious Ultron gameplay. So, you got to give the people what they want. Red Hulk, he got a little mad at me. I won't lie. He sent me a couple PMs. He was upset, and I told him, look, dude, I'll feed you a little bit later. And he said, you better, because I'm hungry. So I'm going to pop on a regen boost here just to save a potion, and I'm going to go in with Ultron. The only really annoying thing about this node is the stupid indestructible when you gain a bar of power. What's funny is I've been using Absorbing Man a lot on my Mobby Short Arms account. I have 2 Carl videos at the end of this war, so stick around if you want to see some Absorbing Man content. But, Carl's sort of shortening of the indestructible as well as some other boosts, you just really feel it when you don't use Carl against these nodes. You're like, man, this indestructible lasts forever, because you do. It really does. Oh, excuse me, I'm so tired. Ugh. Apologies. But yeah, man, Human Torch has really got nothing here. This is, kind of a strange placement. I think can be a little bit trickier on other nodes. And certainly there are other defenders that present real challenges to this path. Torch really doesn't. He puts incinerates on you. The path puts incinerates on you. So you're already incentivized to send incinerate immune on this path. So you're nerfing any effectiveness that Torch has by placing him here. I don't get it. But there are some questionable defensive placements. Let's just put it that way. So next up, we've got this Void on 22. I, of course, will be doing this fight with Ultron. It's sort of my war-to-war obligation. Wherever Void ends up is where I end up going with the big man. And you generally see Void on one of 4 nodes. You see him on Node 9, Node 21, Node 22, Node 49 this season. That's kind of been where we've seen him across the battle groups. And Ultron just sort of handles him any spot that he goes. And so this is, another 90-second Ultron fight. Not really much to report. They're all over my channel this season, so I've kind of got the rhythm down. And to the extent that I don't screw up, Ultron handles business. Even if I do screw up a little bit, he's a tank. He'll be fine. All right, so now we move on to path 2B. This is the placebo path in the second section. First up, we have a Mephisto. Not great placement for Mephisto. He doesn't really nullify. So, you really just got to worry about the timer of the placebo bus, I guess. I don't know. But Red Hulk has finally, heard the dinner bell. And so he has come to get his chow. And this is sort of the joy of Red Hulk, guys. I mean, he doesn't really have a complicated kit. He just punches shit in the face. There's no light intercepts. There's no waiting for certain things to happen. There's no, heavy countering or canceling into specials or anything. It's just pure unadulterated violence. And in a fighting game, that can sometimes be deeply satisfying when you have 200 plus characters with complex kits. There's just something viscerally fun about Red Hulk just punching people in the face to death. I did throw a special 2 there at the end to gain some life back. And if you notice, I did use an invul boost for that fight because Mephisto is a power gain champ. And I do generally recommend that people use invuls in power gain fights, unless you're fighting with Miguel and you don't need one. All right, so next up we have this Domino on the EMP mod, which places shocks on you. We've taken fights on this node before with Ultron because the SIG ability is going to reduce the effectiveness of the shocks. And then Domino here is, Ultron is great for because he is immune to ability accuracy reduction regarding his functions. So that's his evade, his regen, his other stuff. So he doesn't really going to suffer a lot of the crit failures that a lot of champs face when they fight Domino. And in terms of the non-nuke counters out there, Ultron is great. This fight goes about a minute long. You kind of want Domino fights to go as quickly as possible. The longer they go on, the greater the chance that she's going to mess with you. I do get hit there. It's the only time I get hit this war outside of purposefully tanking the special ones from Korg. But whatever, like I said, I had the invul boost in case I needed to tank a special 3. I didn't. I got her down. And now we can move on to the last fight of the war for me and for Loki. It's this Sassy on 49. This is not great placement for Sassy. There are better nodes for him. For example, if I'm looking at this from just a Red Hulk perspective, he's much harder to fight on 39 with Red Hulk than he is on 49. 49 just fuels Red Hulk's damage. And, this is just not great placement for him. I don't know what they think that they're countering here, but anyway, the strategy here is the same strategy you always have. You just beat Sassy with Red Hulk until you get into the regen range. Then you throw the special 3. Then you kind of turtle up, let the Incinerate do its work while the regens fall off. You'll get Sassy real low, and then a combo should finish it. He's in Wrath, so I'm just dancing around his shit in the corner. And, one opening is all I need, and this fight is over. All right, so that's it. All solos for Clown, no deaths, mostly because these guys didn't place the spot boss. On to the Carl fights. All right, first up, we have Arcus on 21. This is JA's. That's who SSX was fighting. Carl's great. He's in magma phase here. So the Incinerates and the poisons are going to be pausing his phase. I do have the I-bomb synergy going for the poison immunity. The plan here is to pop an invul, tank a special 3 or 2, and just let Carl do work. And he just does a phenomenal job here. So, the first time I faced Arcus with Carl, I died. I played it wrong. And I just sort of figured out that you're just playing this as a nuke with an invul, and you go to town. So that works real well. So Arcus down. The next fight I want to show you is I had this Rintrah. This was node 26. This is Bleed Shock. so I'm going to be in my Uru phase. It's also Conflictor, and I wasn't sure about how this would go. I was planning on, heavy countering his heavy or his SB1, and then, of course, canceling into the special. And just look at this burst damage that I'm getting. It's just beautiful. The one other thing is that, I was gaining a lot of power in this fight from my Mystic Dispersion, because there's sort of this feedback loop of where I dex, he gains a power gain from my dexing, and then I gain power from his power gain, falling off because of Mystic Dispersion. Just a fun little game. I mean, Rintrah is a classic defender. He's great on offense. He's great on defense. Just an all-around great champion. And it's just, one of the reasons that he's great on defense is because he's so tanky. And it's just really fun watching Carl beat this guy down pretty quickly. This is probably one of the faster ways to take down Rintrah outside of like a Archangel or something like that. So that's it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next Life Chat.